We've seen a lot of heroes come and go in the comics. We've seen plenty of villains who are also former heroes, and even more villains who used to be good guys, but went bad. But one type of character that always remains a fan favorite are characters who were once considered the enemy, but eventually joined forces with the heroes. Some of these characters become fan favorites because they bring a breath of fresh air to a stale status quo. Others are just plain fun because they turn out to be good despite being the bad guy for a while. Or because they actually good but get possessed by some evil force. Others just remain popular because they're hot. But there's one kind of character that we haven't seen yet. Now that I think about it, it's probably for the best. But what if a hero had a villainous twin, or a close relative who was their opposite in every way? It could be fun to see how they interact with their family and friends, how they would react to the things they believed in and fought for. But what if this character was just a regular Joe who happened to be a little bit evil? What if they were an actual DC hero? Well, believe it or not, there is one DC hero who has a half-brother who is not only evil, but also one of the most hated members of his own race. That hero is Aquaman, and his half-brother is Ocean Master. Now, before anyone says, wait, isn't Ocean Master Aquaman's half-brother? Well, yes, but he's technically not. Let me explain. When Arthur Curry, the man who would become Aquaman, was just a baby, his father, Tom Curry, was hired by the underwater kingdom of Atlantis to retrieve a mysterious artifact known as the Trident of Neptune. While he was there, he met and fell in love with the Atlantean queen, making Arthur half Atlantean and half human. But unfortunately, the king of Atlantis at the time was too happy about this union and took the infant Arthur away from his mother, believing that he did not deserve to be an Atlantean. The king then gave Arthur to his brother, who raised him as his own son and named him Orm. So while Orm and Arthur are technically half-brothers, they were also raised as such, so it's not too much of a stretch to call them brothers. Orm became the Ocean Master, inheriting his uncle's hatred for surface dwellers, which made him an enemy of Aquaman. But he isn't the only member of his race who hates surface dwellers. Black Manta is another Atlantean who despises Aquaman and humanity in general. But why do so many Atlanteans hate surface dwellers? Well, it's because of what happened to Atlantis. You see, thousands of years ago, Atlantis was a powerful empire that ruled over the seas. But as time went on, the Atlanteans became arrogant and greedy and began to pollute the ocean. This angered the sea gods, who flooded Atlantis and killed most of its people. The few survivors fled to the bottom of the ocean, where they built a new Atlantis and cut themselves off from the rest of the world. Ever since then, the Atlanteans have blamed the surface dwellers for their suffering and vowed to get revenge. Now, Black Manta is pretty much your typical angry young man. He's got a personal vendetta against Aquaman for humiliating him in front of his peers when they were young. But Ocean Master has a much more political motivation for hating Aquaman. Orm believes that Aquaman is weak for befriending surface dwellers, and that he should rule over all of the seas, not just Atlantis. In fact, he wants to conquer the entire planet, believing that humans and other surface dwellers are nothing but animals, who need to be put under the rule of a strong, intelligent species, which of course he believes his people to be. In recent years, Orm has become even more radical, turning to dark magic to enhance his powers and even raising an army of the dead to take over Atlantis. These days, Orm might not be the most powerful or popular Ocean Master, but he's definitely the most hated. Now, I really hope that we get to see an evil version of Batman in the near future. But until then, if you want to see more of Aquaman's half-brother, you can always just watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Don't look at me like that. I know you didn't like it, but it's canon. That's all that matters. So who's your favorite hated hero? And what do you think it would take for us to see an evil version of Batman? Let me know your thoughts below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.